We, the human race, you and I, we are the custodians of the world, and we're simply not doing our job. And, well, we need to start doing our job, folks. If a law is enacted that does not serve the best interests of the people and the planet, then it's void. It's no law, and it's entitled to no obedience. And not only that, but the corrupt scumbag politician who enacted such legislation, all of them, are guilty of crimes against humanity, crimes against us all. And such people need to be held accountable. And the legislation that they enact are not laws anyway, so you need to disregard them and do what's right instead. Everybody. This is the only way it's going to happen, folks, is if you stand up and make some noise. Turn off your televisions. Open your eyes. Stand up and reclaim your birthrights, people. Don't wait for somebody else to start making noise so you can follow them. Put away the fear and just do it. Just say no. We will not do this anymore. And this needs to happen in my country as well. It needs to happen in Australia as well, because Codex Alimentarius is due to be implemented here in Australia in February 2010. And where did Codex come from, folks? Where did Codex come from? The whole idea of this food control that we're seeing now is the brainchild of a man called Fritz de Meer. Now, Fritz de Meer was the president of IG Farben. IG Farben was a company that produced the Cyclone D they used in the gas chambers in World War II. They produced the steel for the death camps and for the German rail line. They produced munitions, chemicals, all kinds of stuff. And they also produced pharmaceuticals. In fact, that's what they mainly did. They were a very, very big pharmaceuticals company. So Fritz de Meer was the president of IG Farben. He was actually convicted at the Nuremberg trials after World War II for crimes against humanity. And while he was in jail, he dreamt up the idea of food control. And when he got out of jail, he went to the UN and he told them about this plan that he'd developed. And the UN loved it, so they created a trade union commission called the Codex Alimentarius Commission. This is where it comes from, folks. It's the brainchild of one of the people who supported the Nazis more than anybody else, and who was actually jailed for supporting the Nazis and creating the gas for the gas chambers. So this is the brainchild of this person, folks. We need to stand up and make some noise about this. I mean, if this law is introduced worldwide, I mean, understand it's not exactly law. It's just a trade commission. Now, the Codex Alimentarius Commission is just a trade commission. It's not a government body. It's a UN trade commission, okay? And trade is all about profits. That's what it's about. So we need to completely disregard anything to do with Codex Alimentarius, so we need to hold any politician that supports it accountable for their actions and hopefully charge them with crimes against humanity, because they're just bioterrorists, really, aren't they? I mean, personally, I think that any politician that does support this law is completely insane. I can't see any other reason why anyone would support it. But I think it's time for a break now, so we'll have a bit of a break, and I will talk to you again in 3 or 4 minutes. Well, welcome back, folks. So, how do we fight it? How do we fight things like Codex Alimentarius and like this insidious HR875 legislation that's being put forth? Well, the way we fight it, folks, is by non-compliance, by simply not going along with it. You need to stand up and make some noise and begin to see a connection to each other. And perhaps this sounds like esoteric mumbo-jumbo to some, but it's not. It's truly one of the most important things you can do. It truly is. It is so important that you all start to stand by each other and realize your connection to each other. Understand that there is no one who is any better than anybody else. No one who is any less or more important. No matter who you are, or where you're from, or where you may be, and if you really think about it, each of you almost always knows what to do and when you need to do it. You almost always know when you don't do what you should have done. Just be honest with yourselves about it. If you look inside yourself, you can see this. You can find this truth within you. You know when you're doing the wrong thing, and you know when you're doing the right thing, and you know when you should stand up. But many people are just too scared to do it. But you've just got to be honest with yourself. You've got to be honest with yourself about all of these things. And I've said this many times. If you see injustice towards another person, especially if the injustice is being delivered by police or government, then you really seriously need to understand that it's also being perpetrated against you. And this is true on any level. even on an international level, because the entire human race, the entire human experience is a single consciousness. We are quite literally each other. Understand it. Just know it, because it's true. Turn off the television, folks. Turn off your television and encourage others to do the same, because ultimately, as a society, that is one of the biggest problems we're facing in all of this. It's television and the mass media. Now, that may sound weird to some, but the truth is that due to television and the propaganda that's put forth by corporate-controlled media, modern humans have a very great difficulty differentiating fact from fiction. Many people simply don't know what reality is anymore. Well, folks, reality is that which is so in creation. Right? Illusions are beliefs about reality which are not founded in fact. And my friends, nothing that is fed to you by television or the corporate-controlled media is founded in fact. None of it. The entire outer world expression that is put forth by television and the media is simply a carefully manufactured illusion. And being illusionary, the world that it presents is self-contained, and it has no ties to the rest of creation. So simply stop going along with it. Truly, folks, one of the best things you can do for yourself and for your family is to turn off your television. Get hold of some heritage seeds and start growing your own food. There's a link right on the top of my homepage on thecrowhouse.com that you can click, and that will take you to the best deal and cheapest prices on seeds in all of America. And if you live in Australia, then you need to contact a company called Eden Seeds. And those who live elsewhere, simply do an internet search for a heritage seed company in your country and go from there. Because we need to address this issue. We need to address what's happening to the world. There's a war going on, folks. There's a war going on. But the people are stronger than the system. And the people will win in the end. And love and peaceful non-compliance is truly the key. Folks, it's a no-brainer. It really is. And that's why I call myself Scarecrow. Because the answer is in love. And you really don't even need a brain to figure it out. Just wake up to your power, folks. Wake up to your power. Don't let them get away with what they are doing, because this is it, folks. This is it. This is Codex Alimentarius. This is their big trump card. This is the big end game that they've had planned for so long. So you need to get out and you need to wake people up. You need to stand up and make some noise, and you need to do it now. And don't hate the perpetrators. Even cretins like Rosa DeLauro. I mean, sure, write to her and tell her what you think of her insane actions, but don't hate her. Understand that she's simply sick. She's got a sick mind. She's sick and she's misguided. And that even deranged minds like hers and that of her bioterrorist husband will respond to love. Love is very powerful stuff. It's far more powerful than the forces that are being used against us, the forces of fear. And people just need to wake up to this. I mean, honestly, I've said this before as well, but sometimes I honestly feel like just running down the street and grabbing people and hugging them and telling them not to worry about anything. Everything about this reality and the system under which we live is completely and utterly false. And the system itself is the key to it all. It keeps you on this treadmill. It keeps you going around and around and around, locked in utterly mindless pursuits that you somehow think are important when they're not. And it keeps you working at completely unnecessary tasks while it feeds from the energy that you produce. And it's solely through people's compliance with this system and their willingness to embrace this false reality that was created by the system itself that the system is able to continue functioning. And due to people's unwillingness to look within themselves, to find the power that lies there, the power that lies within themselves. But of course, it's very hard to find the time to do that, isn't it? Because the system doesn't allow it. It's been very cleverly designed, and it keeps you busy all the time. It keeps you worried about things, worried about this, worried about that, worried about the war, worried about oil, worried about, oh dear, I think the economy's going to collapse. Everything. Now, they keep you caught up playing this game and paying completely unnecessary bills, and so you've got to spend most of your life worrying about collecting paper. I mean, it truly is ludicrous, and you only need the system because the system is there. That's the way it works. They've just got everyone locked into this completely false reality. But you need to wake up. You need to just look around you and you can see how false it really is. And things like Codex Alimentarius and this HR875 bill just go to show how false the reality is. I mean, this is not the actions of sane people, folks. Introducing laws like this is simply not the actions of sane people. I mean, think about it. Really think about what they're doing here, you know.